when I really think about it, I go, I would be miserable.
Yeah. I would be an awful employee at this point, right? I'll be just getting fired because I was like, oh, what? No, there's no value in this work. Why am I doing that? No, this does
No.
not, no, that's not the best use of my time. And they're
Hmm.
like, excuse me? Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Welcome to Graphic Content, the podcast where we talk all things who, why, and the what the moments along the way. I'm your host, Gio, and what's on brand for me this week is convincing myself I have my life together, and then life reminding me that I do, in fact, not. My guest today is Sheryl Miller, the founder of Open Forum Consulting, project and change management expert, queer woman of color, newlywed, mother of two, and living proof that reinvention does not come with an expiration date. With over 15 years of experience across government, nonprofits, and financial services, Sheryl helps organizations navigate complex change in a way that's strategic, people centered, and deeply human. After spending years trying to fit into systems that weren't built for her, she chose to build something better on her own terms. Welcome to Graphic Content, Sheryl.
Happy to be here. Nice to see you again. I'm so excited. All those things you said, that's all me. Wow.
It is. Is it not fun that we're actually doing this? After so many months of talking about this, we're finally here.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm happy to be here and chat with you and share some stuff.
Hello, my name is Cheryl.
Hello.
I'm
That's
like,
what I do. Let me take my glasses off.
oh my God. I'm so happy that you're here. Honestly, like you and I, we've known each other now, what, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years and a bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been hearing about you for at least 2 years or so before us meeting. So
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
you
care to
are
care to
even more fabulous than I heard from my wife. So yeah.
I want to give a little bit of context as to how we know each other. So, I know you because you are now married to one of my very good friends, Raquel.
Yes.
And Raquel and I go back to, honestly, it's been 10 years now.
Yeah.
We're recording at the end of January. And in 2016 was 10 years. It was when I moved back to Windsor. And I met Raquel. I tell this story to anyone that when we're together about how I was basically walking down the street and she was canvassing and struck up a conversation with me. And I always joke, I'm like, the reason we're friends is because she picked me up off the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now 10 years later, you have entered my life. And I'm so happy that you're a part of it, honestly. Like our
Yeah.
friendship means the world to me.
Absolutely. And same. When we finally met, I think for the first time a few years ago over coffee, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have picked him up too. So I got it. But
I
you
love
come
it.
over here.
Get over here.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, it means the world to me that you're doing this. And I think over the
Yeah.
last 6 months plus, I think from the summer
Whew.
is when we started to collaborate and work
Yes.
together on this new venture that you have been doing. And I think it's so, I mean, there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of connection beyond just, you're a client of mine. But having
Okay.
known you now for a little bit, it's been so amazing to be part of this new venture.
Absolutely. And I think what you've done is to help me, as cliche as it might sound, you've helped me to define who I am from my work perspective. And I think that then also bleeds right into my life because, we just go about and we're doing things and you're like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And you've really helped me to sort of narrow down, to a big extent, a large extent, my purpose and my intention about who I am, what I have to offer to the society, and really just being more authentic in my journey, whether it be for my clients or in my personal life. So you've been instrumental in that, and I'll forever be grateful for sure.
I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do without people like you. I think that the fact that you were so open and so willing to bring everything to the table, I think that especially as solo entrepreneurs, right? We are
Yeah.
sure we're representing a brand, but we are the brand, like at the end of the day. And to be so open and going into this process and saying, okay, this is my story. This I want who I am to be part of that, not just what I do as a job,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
who I am as an individual. And that to me was something that was worth wanting to be part of. A, because I love you and obviously I would
Yeah.
do anything for you.
Yeah.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, the fact that you're like, I want this to be this new era of Cheryl and I want this to represent
Hmm.
that. And so to me, I was like, yes, like let's get
Yes.
it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you got to pull that out of me because I think for so long, like many people like myself, Black, queer, the whole thing, we compartmentalize ourselves, right? So at work, in the corporate space, we're one person. In our personal life, we're another. In our family lives, we're another. And I had just been starting to really going, who am I consistently? Because it's quite exhausting having to remember, having to code switch, having to show up. It's like I feel like I have multiple personalities. Not that there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with that. People do have that, but like I literally have to be conscious about switching always. And I said to you, like I don't want to sit in a black and white suit and go, okay, this is me, or what have you. Like I love color. I'm also Caribbean, so I want to bring my full and complete whole self
Yes.
in my brand, and not only my brand as I was embarking and also getting married to, the woman of my dreams, and what that meant, right? So we know all the isms and the phobias that comes with living out loud. And so you really help to say, yes, go on out there and live in color. Like, no, there's no black and white. It's the living color. And all the different parts of my intersectionality, you've really helped to sort of bring that out with open forum consulting. And it also reaffirmed my personal journey with getting comfortable with me. So thank
Hmm.
you.
Oh, anytime. A lot of our conversations outside of just in our, day-to-day or interactions, you've talked a lot about being in a season where finally you feel like you're stepping into who you are, like your true identity without worrying about external perceptions. So for you, what has shifted within you to make that possible, for you to really embody
I think I got to the point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
that? Hmm.
And so, if I'm honest, a little bit of help with therapy
Hmm.
and really just like unpacking what was holding me back. I had put all, everyone else's perception of who I should be. You're a mother, you work in corporate,
Yeah.
you should do this and you should do that. And it took getting to 50 that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to have made it this far, hoping for another 40 or 50 years. What do I want that to be? So I was really forced to get intentional about it because, it's like we're saying we bought the best outfit and I'm
Hmm.
waiting till I lose 30 pounds, then I'll
Yes.
wear it. And it sits in the closet, right? For years sometimes. And then
Yeah.
we keep buying more and more. And so I kept having this dream that, oh yes, once my kids are finished school, once they're 18, once they're gone to university, when they're okay. And it's
Hmm.
like, you can't control anyone else outside of yourself. And what's truly am I waiting for? So once I started that personal journey, it really just started unfolding that there are so many things I was saying yes to that I didn't want to say yes to. And the impact that was having on me personally, I don't know if you can relate to that, but I was
Hmm.
like, it was time to make the shift. And I think talking about it, reading about it, journaling about it, going to therapy about it, it's like, okay, no, no, no. You're a project manager, get that plan in place. You
Yeah.
know?
The translation from work to personal, there's got to be something where you're like, "Oh, right, like I can figure this out."
Exactly. And it's one step at a time from, deciding with my fiance at the time, like, the work was not fulfilling,
Yeah.
it was depleting me in so many different ways, and people were just not my crew anymore. And decided to like tip my toe and go, oh my goodness, I think I want to quit my job. And I was waiting for her to say, no, you can't quit your job. We're getting married, blah, blah, blah. But no, she was like, okay, babe, if that's what you want to do, let's start the process. What would that
Hmm.
look like? And so, really strategically look at what made sense, figuring out what my service offerings would be,
Hmm.
and all of that. But really, outside of the professional space,
Yeah.
I was really aware that, wow, you've spent 50 years in this life. Are you happy with what you've done? Are you surviving or are you thriving? Are you being
Hmm.
intentional or are you just going along? And so that's when the light bulb came on, and I was like, no, it's time for change. So,
I know that energy so close to my heart. I think that there's something to be said about, especially now where we're becoming more conscious of who we
yeah,
are as individuals, what it is that what our true selves are. And
yeah,
I think that I got to a point I can only speak from my own experience, but I
hmm,
got to a point now where, yes, I have this skill that I can
yeah,
offer to do what I do. But the thing that is now, I'm in the process of still, discovering where I'm going in this life. It's never
oh yeah,
done, right?
no,
And it's this, what am I doing that actually brings Geo the human and geographic, that side of me, and brings them
mhm,
together in a way that is harmonious,
yeah,
where I'm not separating what I do for work and who I am as a person. Because I
yeah.
feel like that for me, there's always so much tension because my identity was wrapped up in something that wasn't really me.
Sometimes we talk about we have goals and aspirations for life, who I want to be when I grow up, and all these things, what career. Like I'm at the point where I can truly say my number one goal and aspiration is to be me. And how do I now unlearn everything that has led to now that told me who I was wasn't enough, right? So the commitment is to continue to learn and grow, and as you said, it's never done.
Oh
And
yeah.
so realizing, giving yourself even grace as we're moving through and realizing that, there's nothing wrong with us. It's them. It wasn't us, it was them. So now taking that power back, as cliche as that sound, is it's really an interesting journey for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What's been the most surprising thing about becoming more yourself at this stage of your life rather than earlier?
You know what? That is a really good question, and I have to tell you how fun it is. It feels easy. And I'm just like, what were you stressing about? Right? So the more and more that I stop putting the noise at the forefront and just going, what does Cheryl want? How would Cheryl do this? Forget what the book says, forget what anyone else is doing, but it's this sense of freedom and aliveness that I'm experiencing each day on this journey to go, oh, I get to decide. And if that's not okay with me, then it's not okay. Then don't do it. You know?
Oh yeah.
So it's really realizing it's like that analogy of the elephant with the just has the thread around their leg, and it's
Yes.
like, oh, you can go, and she stands there going, why am I stuck? So it's knowing that freedom that you could actually I get to decide what I want to do or don't want to do, and it's actually is so fun, and I'm getting tremendous joy from that.
If we're not enjoying our lives, what the is the point? Like, the world is literally, I say this almost every episode. The world is literally
Yeah.
falling apart around us. If
Oh,
if we have the ability to have joy in our lives and to do and experience the things that bring us joy, I say go do it. Like, what are we
go do
doing?
it. Don't go do it. Mom might not like it, dad might not like it, auntie, cousin, whoever might not like it,
Yeah.
but go forward. Do it scared anyway, because none of us know. And that's the other part that's discovered. Like, oh, no one's got the playbook on this.
No.
We can learn from others and whatever, but no one's got this thing figured out. It's a lie. No one's got it figured out. We're all figuring it out as we go, and so realizing that is just been so freeing. It's less stress.
Mhm.
I mean, being a soulpreneur is very stressful. Let me not
Girl.
lie. Okay. It's
Understatement.
brutal. There's days when I'm like, oh my goodness, what have you done? But then when I know, what going back would mean. It was like, okay, no, I'll take this. I'll
Hmm.
continue to refine the system and I'll keep going.
There's nothing unless like the system completely crashes and I can't work for myself. I don't think I could go back. There's so many
Yeah.
times where I toy with the idea, and those are those moments where like it's my self doubt is creeping in. But I think when I really think about it, I go, I would be miserable.
Yeah. I would be an awful employee at this point, right? I'll be just getting fired because I was like, oh, what? No, there's no value in this work. Why am I doing that? No, this does
No.
not, no, that's not the best use of my time. And they're
Hmm.
like, excuse me? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So,
So on that
yeah,
note, like, was there a specific moment when so you work in corporate beforehand, before you went out on
yeah.
your own, that you had that you came up against that made you like, okay, this I'm done. Like I gotta get out.
It was actually quite serious because I think I felt waking up every day, having to go in, I was shrinking. I would literally have to sit in my car and go, okay, you're going to meet with so and so. Okay, you've got to talk this way, you got to sit this way. You can't say this and you can't say that. And I work in the tech space, so there's not a lot of people like myself that are there, especially not women, especially not black, especially not queer, right? And so the misogyny was just brutal.
Yeah.
The sexism was just, everybody, it's like, okay, I'm an expert here.
Yeah.
I'm a technology expert here. No, I'm not here to take your minutes, right? And so
Yes.
those things, like the minor cuts was just becoming this gaping wound, and I was just ready for fight or flight constantly. And then so my best self wasn't coming forward either, right? Because I was just in this space of just being afraid, right? And just not knowing which side can I call on that it's going to be good enough. So it was impacting, like I start questioning myself. I was
Yeah.
taking a million courses. Oh yeah, I should take this new certificate, this one. And I'm just like, what are you looking for? It's not in any kind of certificate. You don't need to study one more crap ever. You're good enough now, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So it's again, therapy, my wife, journaling, all of those things have turned out to be really helpful and really being honest, right? Really just being honest with yourself, which is hard to do. Because it's like, what? You work for this company and you're leaving? Oh, you get this and you get that? And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's not as good as you think it is. It sounds good, but
Hmm.
I can't do it anymore.
I feel that a thousand
Yeah,
percent. I think that, when and I didn't do 20 plus years in corporate world. I did four
yeah,
post secondary, and I was like, you want to talk about a bad employee? I was like, F this, I'm over this. I can't work for other people. And I remember saying to my mom, I'm like, I don't know, like, and once again, I was in my 20s, so
yeah,
my vocabulary and how I could communicate that was different than now.
yeah,
But I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I just like I don't it just doesn't feel right to me. And she was like, Gio, you have everything on paper that you wanted. A good paying job, you have benefits, you're about to be promoted, like all these
wow,
things that on
yeah,
paper people want. And I said, I know, but I feel empty inside. Like you said, the shrinking, having to go in every day, work my ass off, and it still not be enough. Like all of these things having, and I don't know. I know I'm a special case. Maybe it's because I'm a man. Maybe it's because of my upbringing. I don't know. But for me, I just was like, this, I can't do this. Like
yeah,
I'm about to. I feel like,
yeah.
you know,
Hmm,
it was
hmm.
too much. So I can relate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And also, we're immigrant families, right? And so their
Yes.
mentality is you get a job, you stick to it, and you stay, and you be a good boy, be a good girl. And it's just against everything that you're feeling. And I think also, starting listening to my body, like the body keeps a score. I was like the back pain, the shoulder pain, the mood swings. It was like this environment is just not healthy. And so many people, not everybody can do what we've done or what
Yeah.
we are doing. I
Absolutely.
totally get it. We despite all our journeys and our intersectionality, we are in sort of a space of privilege
Hmm.
that we could step out and still have our basic
100%.
needs be provided for while we're exploring this stuff. But I think so many people sit in uncomfortable situation and our bodies are screaming. Every day you're getting up, going to that office. Why do you have diarrhea though?
Yeah.
Right? And this is just happens every morning, right? Or, you're sick physically and we're not listening to our bodies. We're like, no, we've got to grind through, we got to just push through, or we blame ourselves for not being motivated. But really, it's just not a good environment. It's just not a good relationship. It's just not a good space. You got to get out.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for you, having made that shift,
yeah,
you went officially, you went all in on entrepreneurship in November of last year.
yeah.
And so, why do you think starting your business a little bit later actually worked in your favor when it comes to the timing of doing it?
I think if I had done it earlier, it wouldn't have worked because, I was raising two children by myself and it wasn't time. With all the learnings that I've had and all the exploration I did with understanding, if you did this, what would you offer? I was able to build up such a diverse experience from working in Alberta in oil sands, oil and gas, to government in Alberta, to the university systems. I was able to gather enough diversity in my experience to really be certain that yes, this is what I'm offering. And yes, I have the receipts,
Yeah.
as the kids would say these days, right? I have the receipts. You could
Yes.
do this, right? Yes, you're gonna have to get out of your head. Yes, you're gonna have to get over your syndrome and all the stuff for not being good enough, all of the chatter, and just
Hmm.
do it. And let me tell you, I'm fortunate now. I've got a government contract, and I'm still learning from this, and I've learned so much over the last year and a bit with this client that, part of our principles in project management is lessons learned. There's so much that I would not do again. Even though I'm starting now in a more mature stage in my life, I still undersell myself. So that's something that I'm learning. What is your price, girl? Right? And having that confidence to really own your price
Yeah.
and claim it and let it be what it is, right? So it's still a learning, right? So as I've
Hmm.
said before, even though we're doing this, I'm not there yet because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh crap, you left money on the table, right? How do
Hmm.
you figure out how best to price what you offer?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm in a similar situation where I think
yeah,
I'm getting to a point now where I'm like, okay, represent what is like the value that you're giving,
yeah,
because I mean, you've worked with me, like I'm an all-in kind of person.
yeah,
And recently I had somebody reach out to me, be like, hey, I'm looking for a quote on a website. And I was
mm-hmm,
like, okay, like these are my 2026 prices. Like I'm not going to be, and sending them the estimate and then them backing out and saying, and
yeah,
then like, you know what, it's okay.
good,
Me a couple years ago, I would have been like, "Oh no, let me take some off and this and that
exactly,
and lower," and then, it becomes a bigger problem for you.
mm-hmm,
And now I'm at a
yeah.
point now where I'm like, "You know what? If they say no, it's just leaving space for who I'm meant to work with."
Who you're meant exactly, exactly. As I'm evaluating this relationship now and really exposing myself to other sectors, I'm just like, wow, okay. You're an entrepreneur, you're not an employee. Don't get into the employee mode, right?
Yeah.
Remember who you are. So it's really that process of remembering who I am. And so I'm working on that personally and also professionally. So I'm really excited for 2026 for sure.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah,
and I love hearing that because you should be. I
yeah,
think that
yeah,
going back a year ago to now, I
oh,
think we've had so many conversations, off the record
yeah,
about what are our visions for ourselves, what are our goals, how do we want to evolve, and we're at different stages of the entrepreneurial path, but really
yeah.
it never really ends. Like it's a kind of like
No,
a cyclical thing.
it's stepping in the arena fully and saying, yeah, I want more actually. No,
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied where I'm at. I want more and I'm going to figure out how to get to more. right? Not that we're not grateful where we are. We definitely are grateful, but
100.
absolutely, I'm claiming the
Yeah.
more. I want it all.
Oh, girl, same. I remember what we said. We are manifesting this vision of
Yes,
that vacation that we're gonna take.
yes, yes, absolutely. Full out. Why not us, right?
Yes,
Why not us?
exactly.
So, yeah.
Uh, so on the topic of, new chapters in our lives, like there's
Hmm.
definitely a cultural narrative around reinvention having almost like an age limit. You can only do it so many
Mm.
times. And we see there's a lot of cases that goes against that narrative, but it's still ingrained in us. And
Oh, yeah.
so what do people get wrong about starting over, let's say, I say that loosely, at the
Yeah,
age of
yeah.
50?
Well, because I think we're socialized to think that 50 you're done with,
Hmm.
right? I mean, I'm in my 50s. I'm gonna be 50 coming up shortly. Like, don't ask the girl her age, okay?
I didn't.
And and absolutely, you are told, especially as a woman, that you are over by the time you're 40. It's a
Hmm.
lie, people. It
Yeah.
is a lie. I wish I could shake that into particularly women, and I
Yes.
understand men might go through it, but I can only speak from that perspective. Um, Even things like me embracing the grays that are coming in. I'm like, I'm not coloring my hair anymore. Why
Hmm.
can't I be deemed distinguished the same way you would seeing a man with gray hair? Like, it is
Yeah.
what it is, right? And so I'm coming with all of it. And so folks have to just, if even take some time and slow down and ask yourself those questions. Is that true? A
Hmm.
lot of it is a lie. We've
Yeah.
got to be careful about what we're consuming. This obsession with youth and whatever it is. Great, we all want to look good and all that kind of stuff, but don't diminish what your experience and it's not that piece of paper that makes you an expert. It's
No.
that life experience that you do have, that you bring something. And our job is to figure out, what is it that I bring? What is it that's unique? Doesn't matter who else is in the arena doing it. What is it about you that gonna make sure that what you're offering is different, right?
Hmm.
So it truly is a lie, and we have to unplug and disconnect and start remembering who we are, because they've told us a whole bunch of lies, you know?
So, what have you discovered for yourself that you're realizing? Go
Oh
for
my
it.
gosh. Like, if we can get personal, I had a whole husband another part of my life
Yeah.
because I was, it's like, okay, I'm Jamaican, I'm black, I'm queer. No, don't be gay, but I've been gay since I was 10. I've known that.
Hmm.
But I went in this process of hiding for many reasons, religion, culture, society, all the things. And I mean, I just got married last year and I am over 50.
Hmm.
And the love of my life came. We've been together now for 5 years, right? And so knowing that I'm literally walking through the very thing that they say could never happen. We had the
Hmm.
most beautiful wedding in September last year, and it was on our terms, what we wanted. And, to stand there in my fullness and to walk out into the world as a married woman to
Hmm.
a woman. I mean, my life is political as it is. And so that in itself has motivated me to just go, oh my God, what else? What else? I
Yeah.
want to learn how to swim better. I want to, I'm going to be doing some crazy marathon coming up, all
I
the
love it.
things. And so the more and more I step into my wildest dreams, is the more I'm like, oh, okay, I'm okay. I could do
Hmm.
this. And so, yeah, I think don't give up on yourself, people.
Hmm.
And it's not us that's giving up on ourselves. We're just programmed
Yeah.
again to not trust our own instincts. I mean, if you decide, listen, I don't want this corporate job anymore. I am happy, knitting in the corner 3 times a week, and you can feed yourself and still live, then that's your prerogative, right?
Hmm.
And so we put too much pressure on them and the other people. Even things as simple as how you want to wear your hair. Oh, if I want to
Yeah.
shave my head tomorrow, oh, they'll think you're sick. Or forget about them, forget
Yeah.
about they, just do you, really.
Hmm.
It truly is that simple. And that goes for, even now I'm a married woman, whatever, I'm still me. It's very important that I am Cheryl. And,
Yes.
she's Raquel. Like, we're not twins all of a sudden. So she
Yes.
doesn't have to be interested in all the things I'm interested in, or vice versa. So again, center yourself in your journey, and I think you'll find amazing sweetness behind that door.
I love everything you're saying, and I agree 100%. I have to
Yeah.
say, I'm going to go back a little bit on the
Okay.
topic of your nuptials.
Oh.
I was there, and I gotta say, I've been to so many fucking weddings. Okay,
Yeah.
your wedding, you and Raquel, that was the first of the season for me where I had 4 weddings in 8 weeks. Okay,
Really. Yeah.
it was a lot, but I will say, of all the weddings I've been to my entire life, it was one of, and Tyler was with me, and it was, we said the level, the love, the realness, it was palpable that day. And it wasn't just, it didn't, sometimes weddings can feel like, okay, now we're doing this, and now we say this, and
Yes.
now it's very like rehearsed and robotic, and it kind of takes me out of it. It
Yeah.
felt, I was like, this is, if ever, and I have no desire personally to get married, but if ever I was to get married, that's the vibe I want. And
Yeah.
it was so like chef's kiss, everything. It was such a beautiful day. I
Yeah.
felt the love,
Yeah.
and it was just wonderful. I was so appreciative to have been part of that.
Yeah, yeah, it was wonderful having you. I mean, again, right? Like getting here we are. Here I am in my 50s getting married and still getting, realizing family members who are homophobic and not in support of our union. And
Hmm.
honestly, again, that could have derailed us, but we have to really get grounded and purposeful and intentional about, like, this is not about other people, this is about us. So our wedding was absolutely just the love. Everybody in that room was handpicked by us and was there because they love and support us, and they, like, we're still floating in the joy, and really watching everyone else have fun, from our officiant and Ananea to, like, everything was just us, was
Yes.
uniquely curated for us. We did not want anything that was cookie cutter in any kind of way, and we had a hand in, deciding what kind of experience we want to have and to set the tone for our forever, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, it was awesome having you and Tyler there. It was
It
really
was
good.
so fun. I think a
Yeah,
big part of our connection is the fact that everything that you approach, how you approach, is there's always that human element to it, that very real connection to me. And that's my
yeah,
whole MO in life. Like,
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
feel connected to the people in my life, my friends, the clients I work with, and
yeah,
seeing, and you're having, once again, having worked with you on the brand for the company for Open Form Consulting, you really infuse that into your work as well. I think that that's
yeah,
a really important thing to note. And so for you, like, you've talked a lot about, managing change in a way that's strategic, but has that human element in it. And so
hmm
for you, like, why do you think empathy, especially in the corporate world, is treated
hmm
almost like a soft skill instead of like a core business requirement?
Again, they have gotten it wrong, right? Where the model that we've been operating on is, who has whatever degrees, and, it's a hard skill sets, right? And so because empathy is embodying with who we are as people, it's seen as, oh yeah, this special little thing. Like, okay, oh, you need a hug, right? And so they don't understand that people should be able to come to work with their full selves. And so coming to work with your full selves is going to mean that I'm not a robot. I'm not chat GPT, right? You can't just program me and I go off running. Life is happening and you're dealing with humans. And so, um, more and more organizations are moving forward, with embracing the concept of people-centered change and understanding that we can push technology all we want, or we're pushing a new system, but how is this changing how I show up and do my job every day, right? What support do I need to learn this new technology that you're putting on me, or this new process, or this new system, right? Why don't I understand that as an adult learner? You can't just, um, tell me that, okay, do this, this, and that, and that's it. Okay, bye, and here's a book, off you go, right? Why aren't we considering the different abilities that people have, that they show up to work with and needs to have those necessary accommodation? Why aren't we not thinking about the inclusivity that is required at work, right? Because again, people are bringing their full selves to work. And so without empathy, what are we doing? We're just chasing the profit. We're just causing wars. We're just, people hate coming to work. People are sick. Like, and so I think, you know, as a world right now, it looks like empathy is lacking. And so for those of us that are empaths or care about the people side of all the change and the chaos that's happening, it's quite a load to bear, because you're just like, I don't get it. Why don't you see that what you're doing is hurting people? Hopefully, they'll continue to move forward with understanding a little bit more and embracing this as actually that's one of the questions that you should be asking somebody that you want to work with, or a candidate for a job, right? That's the primary thing, not if you know how to move this machine from here to there,
Hmm.
or you know how to build this structure, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
having worked in so many different sectors, like what have you found has been, how do I word this? Like, what's the cost the when organizations ignore the human side of change?
Oh my goodness. It hits their bottom line, right? We talk about morale. What does that mean? The turnover rate is ridiculous. The amount
Hmm.
of days lost on people calling in sick, right? And
Yeah.
so, you have those benefits that sits there. So some people, some abuse it and say, you know what, I don't have to deal with this. So guess what? I'm sick. I get my doctor's note and I'm off. And then it goes into short-term disability. Then it leads into long-term disability. And
Hmm.
then you have less people doing the work that you only have the 5 people doing, but the output, the expectation of the output remains the same. So
Yeah.
you're not really getting that buy-in from people anymore, and you're constantly churning. So how can you even establish yourself as an organization that is um, offering whatever services you're offering? Because we're losing that touch, that human touch, and people are just saying, people don't leave jobs, the company, they leave their managers, right?
Hmm.
So we know that, right? So the cost is reputational risk is brutal, especially because we live in an era now where it's like, oh yeah, this company sucks, and I'm going to put it on whatever platform is there. And
Yeah.
you have many ways to do that without, doing it anonymously that they don't know.
Hmm.
So this is what I've seen. Yeah,
I feel you on that. I
yeah,
am feeling this shift, especially because of how quickly technology is kind of, creating the narrative of what we should be doing and how we should be advancing in all industries, all
yeah.
sectors. But there's a simultaneous like change where people are like, I don't actually want to let go of that human centered aspect of my
Hmm.
approach to the work,
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, like for me, I can't do what I do without being involved, being the human behind the work. I think
yeah.
that I can't replace certain systems that I operate within. Yes, absolutely, there can be like a technological
Hmm.
advantage, whether it's time or whatever.
Yeah,
But when it comes to how I connect with the person that I'm doing the job for, that I'm
yeah.
creating something for, I can't remove myself from it.
No, you can't. No, you can't. The whatever the technology will be, like in my space, project management, change management, of course, there are many, many tools to help us, right? To provide some of the basic mechanics of the work.
Hmm.
Like you need a project
Yeah.
plan, sure. The AI tool or whatever the technology can help with that, but you still need the input from the people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm giving you something that is not tailored to what you want, your
Yeah.
organization, your needs, your requirements. I can't just pick something out of the internet and just give it to you and say, here you go. And so that conversation has to happen, that connection has to happen. We still have to meet, we still have to interview, we still have to get that feedback there. So
Yeah.
I think we get afraid, or the powers that be would like us to be afraid of AI or technology. No, it's a tool that we can leverage to do some of the mundane tasks for us,
Yeah.
that we don't want to do. And yes, of course, I get it. We have to be concerned about where we're going with technology, because
Hmm.
the technology is only as good as the data that you input. So, what is the
Yes.
data that you're inputting into these systems, right? And this is where companies and organizations and government have an opportunity to ensure that. How do you impart empathy into your technology? You can, right? How are you ensuring that the people side is taken care of? People's psychological and mental health is taken care of. How are you making sure that there's proper representation in whatever tools and platforms that you are creating, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, you can't just have, one type of avatar. Like, it needs to
Yeah.
represent everyone, right? You can't just have one way of thinking. I mean, I guess you can depending on your audience, but if you
Yes, of
really
course.
want to be holistic and people-centered, you need to think about those things, right? Like,
Yeah.
an example, one of the projects I'm working on right now, and it's an area that I didn't even realize was a huge body of work, and is the accessibility of websites, right? And so
Hmm.
I now have an auditor that is going to assess the tool from an accessibility perspective. And it's not just the site, what you see, it's the navigation, it's, the types of fonts, it's the color, it's, all the things that as a graphic designer expert that has to be factored in. And so my client is saying, well, we don't need this. And it's like, absolutely you do. Absolutely you do. Because there's a segment of our population that we need to ensure that they can participate in this tool, in this system, and also get their needs met as well.
Is there anything that you absolutely refuse to compromise on in your business? Like, even if it was to cost you work, you're like, I'm not budging on this.
I'm learning that. And one of them is the expectation that I need to be on site. I don't need to be on site. For
Hmm.
what? Right?
Yeah.
The work is done this way. That's one piece. And another also is any type of isms. I can't deal with it. If I see it, I have to act. Everybody should be treated fairly and given the same opportunities. So the minute I'm very allergic. So whether it's in whether it's in meeting forums, I'm setting the expectation that, what, we're going to talk about a topic that we're going to have varying degrees of perspectives on, but we're going to hear each other out. They're going to get an opportunity to have their voices heard. And it's crazy that you still have to remind people of these basics, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so disrespect or isms of any kind that's showing up, I'm very much oh no, this happened in this meeting. I noticed that that's not okay. If something is brought forward to me around, hey, my perspective is not being taken in consideration, or people want to fit in, right? What's in
Hmm.
it for me? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what we're doing. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. Why should I listen to this podcast? Why should I show up at this restaurant versus another? I want to know that there is something that I'm going to take away from that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody is just trying to connect. I know this is like a thing that's not new. It's not anything that this is not hard hitting news of what I'm saying. Like, everybody knows this, but
Hmm.
the through line of, no matter the background you have, where you come from, your orientation, nothing, any of that. It's all if we whittle it down to just like a basic through line, is that humans love to be loved and to connect. And that is the
Yeah.
thing that I've been able to like take with me. I don't know. Anyway, that's like random. This just popped in my head as you were saying that.
No, it's one of your superpowers, right? You are a connector. And so that is something, again, you can't find in a book, right? And
Hmm.
so it's such a powerful thing that you're encouraging that in your work. And, as your client, as your friend, that is definitely woven into your approach to the work. But yeah, I mean, I think we all got messed up a little bit with COVID, right? With just, you know, those of us that are kind of extrovert, introvert people, we're hiding from each other.
Yeah.
And so we're realizing now, like, no, we don't have to be afraid of strangers. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to be
Some of them I'm
fully
still afraid
afraid.
of.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I should take that back. Some, yes, for sure. But, in general, like, it's okay to say hello. It's
Yeah.
okay to have a smile on your face. It's okay to hold the door for someone else.
Hmm.
So our basic humanities, like, let's get back to being empathetic. And
Yeah.
and I think we hear this all the time, and I'm feeling like I'm on the soapbox, but it's like we never know what someone else is going through by just looking at them.
Hmm.
Be kind. It doesn't cost you anything.
And some people think that. I feel like you would have thought that going through what we did, there was a moment where I thought, oh, wow, this is going to bring the world together. This is
Yeah,
going to connect people in a way that we didn't necessarily have something globally happen where we all kind of were on the same page.
yeah.
And then that went away so fast. And
Hmm.
the infighting is even worse than what it was. And I'm like, guys, we're missing the plot. Like, we're missing the
Yeah.
plot.
We got the equalizer,
Hmm.
and where it didn't matter status, and
Yeah,
then suddenly the minute that was over, return. But I think there's still some of us,
of
that are
course.
still holding on to that change, that positive change, that sense of
Hmm.
community and belonging and togetherness. And so, we'll continue to do that work because we don't have to be like them.
No, I don't want to be like that. There's nothing in me that's,
No.
I don't enjoy when I come across people who are just like ignorant and they just love staying. And I don't even know if love is the right word, but they are just so used to being in such a shut off type
Yeah.
of energy that
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't even know that it's. I'm like, you're so off putting. Why don't we just try to be a bit more open
Yeah.
to others? If anything has shown us that we need each other in order to get through, whatever this new chapter is that we're going through, because who the knows what's going to happen in like,
Oh,
it's crazy.
it makes you want to become reclusive and just hide
Hmm.
and stack all your sardines and tuna cans
Yeah.
in little boxes and don't go outside.
Yeah.
But there's good life to be had and
Of
good life
course.
to live, and there's so much joy still within the mess that's around all of us. So
Hmm.
doing work like this and chatting to people like you, like, people are overcoming and people are doing good despite the walls falling down around us sometimes.
Oh
So
yeah. And that's
yeah,
why we vibe. I think you have a very similar outlook.
yeah.
Like, outside of this, I know we're being very like, let's talk about life and our work and whatever, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
we have a great time outside of these
Oh,
four walls of the screen.
yes.
I have to say, I love how much we saw each other last year. Like, we really
Yes.
had so many memories that we've made together. I've known you now for going on, I think, 4 years. We met in
Yeah.
2022, I think.
Something. I don't know. I'm old. I don't remember. But yeah, it
But
feels
like,
like forever, which is a wonderful feeling. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And from like day one, like, I've known you as somebody who is very like open, you're very
Yeah.
authentic, but you also have like just like a bold energy about you, which I love.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
for you, like, when you're looking at how you live your life, whether it's personally or professionally, how do those traits show up for you? What does that look like for you on a day to day?
One of the key things for me is tackling hard things, hard topics, right? So I no longer shy away from the uncomfortable conversations that we need to have sometimes. And that's on one side. And the other side is I'm a girl of color. So I'm in purple, I'm in red, I'm in orange, I'm in yellow, right? And so I those kinds of things fuel me. How I dress fuels me, the colors that's necessary for me. And that natural authenticity that allows me to just laugh, allows me to create safe space for other people. I mean, people randomly will share like stuff with me. I'm like, okay, girl, like, I'm not a therapist, but it's just like, oh my God, this person just told me like all of this stuff about themselves. But there's something about me showing up as myself that also opens the door for others to do the same. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense, but yeah,
It does. I mean, I could say the same
Yeah.
with our relationship. I think that
Yeah.
one of the things that we were able to connect on, especially going through the process of working on the brand and
Yeah.
bringing that to life, was, but I know that I have a disarming energy with people where they feel, because I'm open. I'm like an open book. I
Yeah.
don't I
You're
don't
very
have a
much
wall. And
yeah.
so for me, I think setting the tone, especially in a more like, professional
Hmm.
interaction, really allowed us to like bond even more
Yeah.
than before that. And I think
Oh
that
yeah.
that was just something that, like, on a personal note, I think was just very
Yeah.
special. I just because
Yeah.
we were able to really co-create in a way, and I'm not trying to sound cheesy. It just was really
I
something
know.
that was just so it was very special.
It is. And I think, but again, it's part of your superpower of being able to make people feel comfortable. That I could truly say to you, like, listen, I'm afraid of thinking, oh, for this website to be successful or to be received by others, I don't want it to look, either too black or too queer, or, I want to try to really make sure that it's professional. And you really help me to go, well, what does that even mean, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Of course, we can have a purple background. Girl,
Yeah.
if you want that orange, of course you can. And here's how we can, the different fonts can represent you. And it is still polished and it is still professional. And it's most importantly you, right?
Hmm.
And it's based on your own definition. So you really help to pull that out of me. Like, no, no, no. I want you to just be you. No, we're not just going to sit there in a black and white suit. What is that? That's not who
No.
you say you want to be. So what is this? What is this
Yeah.
outfit? No.
Yeah.
So
We live in a world where everything is, all of this, the systems that we've grown up in are falling apart.
yeah,
And to
thank
be able
goodness.
to represent ourselves, yeah, thank God,
Yeah.
to represent ourselves in ways that are unique to us, I think is the
Hmm.
most important, because once again, we don't know how much time we got. Like,
No, we don't.
just go for it. Do the things that make you feel like you're being represented authentically. And I'm the right person to go to, because I'm not anyone who's going to be like, no, it should be like this. Like,
No.
unless it's like, by it should be like this, meaning like it shouldn't be ugly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's got to look good,
Exactly.
but as long as it's communicating. And I think the last year I've honed in my own, in what I do,
Yeah.
in a way that is way more like connected. I think that that has been something that has allowed me to really not be afraid to bring that part of myself into the work and not think this is what I'm supposed to do. It also has helped me suss out, a lot of like types of clients where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to work with these people
Yeah.
because they don't speak my language.
Exactly. We don't connect. And so if you're not able to connect, how am I going to be able to help you to do what you want to do? Right.
Hmm.
And I think also professionally, last year was a really good learning experience around the taxes. I was like, oh, brother, okay. And so, like, the business of the business,
Hmm.
continues to be a learning experience and a process that has to also be there, right? So,
Hmm.
um, to have that sustainability and ability to scale eventually, all of these foundational pieces has to be in place. But at the heart of it all is the heart of the leader of the organization, of the soulpreneur or the entrepreneur. If we don't take care of ourselves, none of this will matter, right? We'll
Hmm.
become forgotten pretty soon, or we'll show up. Then our clients will be like, oh, geez, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're tired. Like, go rest,
Yeah.
something. So,
Hmm.
yeah, we've got to take care of ourselves first in the most basic and simplest way by being ourselves, truly.
Is there anything from, your previous life, let's say in corporate world, like you're still in
Hmm.
corporate, but it's now you're kind
Yeah.
of doing it your own way. Is there
Hmm.
anything that from that era of your life that you still fall back on when it comes to any like instinctual actions you take or approaches that you take to the work that you do?
Because I was lucky, especially when I worked with municipal government, there is an understanding of forcing inclusivity,
Mm.
right? Because it's a government entity, so you have to take care of everyone.
Yes.
And so that lens is always readily available for me.
Hmm.
Who are my stakeholders? What are their needs? Are their needs being met, right? And also understanding that you won't make everybody happy, and that's okay. But as long as the principles are there and that you still respectfully disagree, and you're able to, it's true, right? It's like,
Hmm.
yes, I understand there's many opinions, but this is a decision that was taken, and these are the whys of
Hmm.
to why that decisions or those decisions were taken.
Yeah.
And yeah, the decision is made, so we will move on.
And it's different because now you're working solo. And so for
Yeah.
you, you kind of can really bring to the table the Cheryl way in all aspects of the business because it's you. There's that interwoven thing that I was saying earlier of yes, there's the professional business side, but then also like you're doing it all. So for you, it's
Hmm.
how you email, how you pick up the phone, how all these things that you bring to the table that really embody, okay, this is who
Yeah.
I am at 50.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's really good. I wouldn't take a thing from the journey, honestly. I think sometimes, we would say, "Oh, I should have done or shouldn't." No, there is no shoulda, coulda, woulda. It is just what it is now.
Yeah.
And the sooner we learn that all of it, good, bad, and indifferent, was meant to happen and
Yeah.
meant to be. And our job is really just to understand what was I supposed to learn from that experience. And as cliche as it is, I know it's like, oh, whatever, that was
Hmm.
really a horrible experience. But it's like, yeah, but maybe you didn't listen to yourself. Maybe you didn't listen to your body and realize that, wow, why is it I get a headache every time I talk to this person or I go into this building? What's
Yeah.
going on, right? And it's like it's
Yeah.
our job to really connect and free ourselves from the nonsense, really, you know?
100%. I think that we're moving into an era where people are fighting themselves less. I think that we are at a point now
Yes.
where we're realizing that these, I don't know, like what we think we need to do is not really working. And we're
Mm-hmm.
like actually starting to listen to ourselves more. And that
Yeah.
is helping shape the life that we want. Like you and I have talked about this a lot about how when you start to actually, say no to things that you don't want to do,
Yeah.
the way that your life and the energy that you have on a day-to-day basis really just like works in your favor because you're actually listening to
Yeah.
yourself.
The universe gives that back to you, right? And so we have to be very careful about what we're thinking and what we're doing, and understanding that no is a complete sentence. And you know what? My kids are older now, but I'm still learning. In fact, my son even said to me last week, because he had shared a goal he had, and of course, Mama Bear is on it. Oh, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? And
Yes.
so he's like, Mom, like you're being a helicopter parent. I was like, what the heck? Okay, buddy, fine.
Yeah.
But I wasn't upset. I was just realizing, oh, you've asked for time to focus on you. You've said this is your time, Cheryl. Why are you going back to trying to micromanage your adult children? It's not
Hmm.
needed. So I
Yeah.
was so thankful, even though I was slightly like, oh, right? But I was
Hmm.
still so thankful for the message and the reminder to put your energy into yourself, because
Yeah.
you cannot tell another adult what they should or shouldn't do, right?
Hmm.
It's not your
Yeah.
job anymore, right?
Yeah,
Especially when they don't
absolutely.
ask.
Honestly, and so listen, I can't empathize as I'm not a woman, I'm not a mother, but I will say as somebody who, has a mother who's an Italian mother who wants the best for her children, I say this all the time. Or now this isn't the case anymore, but for the longest
Yeah.
time it was. I understand that it's love behind your getting involved, let's say,
Hmm.
and wanting me
Yeah.
to make the right decisions and do the right things based on your perception of what would be the best thing for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm not you. And I've
No.
and now we're at a point now our relationship is very harmonious for the most part because
Yeah.
and I said to my mom, like, I think a big part of, and I, once again, I only say this as an outsider looking in, but I think a
Yeah.
big part of growing up in the era that she did and being a woman is that her whole identity was like, and you said this in the beginning, was wrapped around
Hmm.
mother,
Yeah.
wife. and not
Mhm.
Angela and being the
Yeah,
individual that she is. And I said, you don't have to worry about me. And it's almost like a default to not, and she never really looked at herself first. It was always,
exactly.
how is everybody around me taken care of before me? And now later in life, it's not necessarily the easiest thing, right? And so
No.
I'm like, don't worry about me. I'm pushing 40. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
understand it as well, because it's like, it's not her fault. It's something that she was brought up in.
Yeah. Yeah. That fear sits there still, and you're like, you want the best for them, and but then you're like, well, if you've done whatever parenting you're supposed to do, it's up to them. And so, but we want to, because the world is not the safest sometimes,
Yeah.
for young Black men, for instance, and and I'm just like, oh my goodness, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. And outside of that is like this concept of success is you must do
Mm,
this, it's linear, and it's not, right?
no.
And so whether you're in your 40s or your 50s, man, like this life is sweet. There's opportunities for joy, and we can start over. You don't like it, start over, do something
Yeah.
different, right? We don't have to sit there and get stuck in whatever it is, right?
That's the perfect
Yeah.
segue to my next question. So, to anybody listening, what would you want them to embody or like really believe from hearing your story?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's never too late. It's never too late. And the first person you have to convince of is yourself. The minute you understand that you're not behind, you didn't miss a milestone, you don't have to do it the way everyone else is doing, it gives you that freedom to step into that thing, right? And I would also say, do it anyway. Do it scared. Someone else said it. I don't know whose quote that is. Do it scared. You do not have to have it all figured out before you get started. Just start. Just
Yeah.
start.
Hmm.
And it's really literally baby steps at a time. Doesn't matter what it is you're trying to figure out. You don't have to, oh, I want to start a podcast. Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't have the equipment. Well, do you have a library card? Could you watch a YouTube video? Could
Hmm.
you talk to someone that's actually doing it?
Hmm.
What can you do, right? So we've got to remember always, we've got to start where we stand. And as long as we're willing to do that, then I think, shoot, doesn't matter the age. Yeah,
I agree. I don't know a lot. I will never say that I know a lot of anything, but the one thing
yeah,
I do know is that I'm always willing to try. I'm always willing to let's switch it up a little bit. Sometimes you
yeah.
get bored and you want to do something new and
Hmm.
redefine yourself, and I think that that's something that are, and once again, we've had so many conversations like off the
Yeah,
record about this, and it's
yeah,
something that for me I'm so excited to see with this
yeah,
energy that you bring, this like
yeah,
vivaciousness, you have this like really can do attitude, and that's something that anybody listening or watching can really embody. It's like, just
yeah.
go for it.
Just do it. Just do it. Do it scared. Do it just because. Get out of your own way. And sometimes we give so much power to other people,
Yeah.
what they think. Sometimes they don't give a shit about you. They don't
No.
even care. They're not even looking at you. And
Yeah.
you're wasting time not starting something or stepping into a different arena because you're worried about what they are going to think.
Hmm.
They're not, honestly, they're not even thinking about you half the time.
No.
Take that power back, get out of your head, and just start. Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about so many aspects of your life, of your business,
Yeah.
and so I want to ask as a final question, and I ask every one of my guests this: in your
Yeah.
own words, what would you say is the most on brand thing about you?
Oh my goodness. I would say me. What comes to my mind is just me.
Me.
Me. Just Cheryl. You
Hmm.
know, really just Cheryl. Just me. I'm no longer masking. I'm no longer trying to be anybody else. I'm not trying to look like anybody else, sound like it.
Hmm.
I'm just me, right? And so
Hmm.
this is what you get. And so if you want to work with me, absolutely. I'm happy to do so. But what you see is what you're going to get. I'm a Black, queer, Caribbean, crazy Jamaican sometimes, but you know what I mean? Like I can
Hmm.
code switch it up and make it work. But
Hmm.
I'm just coming as myself, and this
Yeah.
is what I have to offer. And if you're open-minded enough to know that, to want to explore, then we can explore together. But I don't have any magic. There's no bait and switch happening over here anymore. It's just me. Yeah,
I love that. Honestly, that's like the
yeah,
best way to wrap this.
yeah,
Cheryl, thank you so much for doing this. I know this has been a long time coming. I am
yes,
so thankful that, not only do we have a friendship outside in the real world, but then also
yeah,
we could, cross paths professionally and in this way. Like it just shows like I'm so excited for what's to come, both for you
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
personally and professionally.
Yeah, and congratulations to you for, developing this platform, and this is another example of just saying yes. I'm like, what the heck? A podcast? I don't know what to say. Like, what is he going to ask me? What am I going to look like? Just say yes.
Yeah.
Just do it. It's okay. So, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for creating a safe space for people like me and others. Thank you for being this beacon of light and just opening doors for other people and being that connector. You truly are special, and I am honored to be your friend. And I can't wait to see you like soon, I guess.
Mhm.
It's first month in the year, but we're gonna have some more FaceTimes together in real life.
Thank you. That's so kind. I really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, it's true.
So to anyone listening, to anyone listening who
Yeah.
would want to potentially work with you, reach out to you and connect, like where can they find you online?
www.openforumconsulting.com. All the information is there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And to anyone listening, if you want to give the podcast a follow, subscribe, we are on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. If you want to send an email, send it to graphiccontentpod@gmail.com. Cheryl, I want to thank you once again for being part of the show. It means the world to me. And we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank
Bye.
you.